Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Are you looking for some quick weeknight meals? I have 3 meal ideas that can be made in 30 minutes or less. To help make your meals in under 30 minutes, keep some pre-cooked meats in your freezer. I'll cook 1 pound of ground turkey or ground hamburger and then freeze it. Sometimes I freeze it in 2 containers because some recipes are good with just half of a pound of meat. I purchase rotisserie chickens and then I take the meat off and then I freeze it in quart bags, about 2 or 3 bags, and then I can just pull out the meat as needed. My point is, having pre-cooked meats will help shorten your time in your kitchen. Now that's way too much dishing. Let's just get cooking. I'm going to make cheeseburger soup. I need 4 cups of diced potatoes. I have 3 potatoes here. I'm going to peel and dice those up. I'm going to finish peeling these and I'll be back. I'm going to dice these. I need 4 cups. You can make this on the stovetop in a large saucepan. I'm just going to use my electric kettle. I'm going to cut them about that size. I'm going to finish dicing my potatoes and I'll be right back. There's my 4 cups of potatoes. Then I need 3 cups of chicken broth. I have 2 cups here, just from a rotisserie chicken that I cooked down. And then I need 1 more cup, so I have 1 cup of water and 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. Of course, you can always just do 3 cups of water and 3 teaspoons of chicken bouillon. I'm not even going to stir it, it'll be fine. If you're cooking this on the stovetop, cook over a medium-high heat, bring it to a boil, and then simmer until the potatoes are fork tender. I'm going to put this at 250 degrees, bring it to a boil, and then turn the temperature to 200. Before I forget, this recipe calls for 1 pound of ground hamburger or ground turkey cooked. I always use half of a pound and it works just fine. Now I'm going to mix up the sauce. I need half of a stick of margarine or butter. You can do this over the stovetop in a medium saucepan. I'm just doing this in the microwave. I'm going to microwave this for about 30 to 45 seconds until it's melted. All right, this took closer to 1 minute, but that's okay. I need 1/4 of a cup of either flour, or to make this gluten-free, I'm going to do cornstarch. Just whisk it in until it's smooth. Then I'm going to whisk in 1.5 cups of milk. I just have skim milk. My potatoes actually only took about 6 minutes to get soft. As long as your fork goes through the potato, it's soft. I'm keeping my kettle on low, 200 degrees, and then I'm going to whisk in, or you could stir in carefully, the milk. Mix this in a little bit better, and bring that to a boil. I'm going to turn this up to about 250 degrees. If you make this on the stovetop, you can turn your temperature to a medium-high, and then just turn it down to low when it comes to a boil. Just kidding. You can add your cooked ground turkey or ground hamburger, and then bring to a boil. Not a cheeseburger soup without that, right? All right, kind of coming to a boil, and it's pretty thick. I'm going to turn my heat down to 200. If you're doing this on the stovetop, turn it to low. And then stir in 2 cups of cheese, about 2 cups of cheese. Of course, the new bags are what, 1 3/4 cup, so about that. I'm using about 1.5 cups of cheese. Usually that's enough. If you want the whole bag, go for it. I think we're good with this. Once your cheese has melted, you don't even need to bring it to a simmer. When it's melted, it's ready to eat. I'm just going to serve this up. I have to say, I've timed myself from the time I started peeling potatoes and cooking potatoes. I did have the meat already cooked, and I was interrupted a few times. This took me 35 minutes total with interruptions. So if I didn't have any interruptions, it would have been under 30 minutes. So cheesy, in a good way. And that is dinner tonight, cheeseburger soup. So good. I'm going to make egg roll in a bowl. You need one 14-ounce pack of coleslaw mix or half of a head of cabbage. I've washed this and I've peeled off the first 3 layers. It felt safe enough for me to use. I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to wrap this half in foil and then put that in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use it. And this half I'm going to cut up. Take off this part. I'm going to slice this up and put this in my bowl. I'm just slicing kind of thin, about like that, and then I'm just going to chop it up, kind of roughly chop it. About like that. It's okay if you'll have some bigger pieces, some smaller pieces, that's fine. I'm going to finish chopping this and then I'll be right back. Next, I have a carrot that's been washed and peeled. I am just going to cut this a little bit smaller and then I'm going to shred this up. I am just going to shred the carrots up in the salad shooter. Do they even make these anymore? I don't even know. This is really old. This is actually what I use to shred my block cheese. It shreds it in minutes. The carrots will be smaller pieces. You could use a mandolin or just a manual shredder. That's fine too, but this is just what I'm going to use. It'll be faster. I'm just going to shred it right into my bowl. I'm just going to set this aside. Next, I'm just going to make a sauce that is optional for serving on top. I need 1/4 cup of mayonnaise or mayonnaise, depending on where you are. I call it mayo. Depends on where you live, right? About 1/4 of a cup. And then approximately 2 tablespoons of sriracha sauce. I'm just going to do 2 squirts. Good enough. Mix this up and refrigerate until I'm ready to serve. Just like that. I'm going to be making this in my electric skillet. You could always make this in a large saucepan or a large saute pan on your stovetop. Cook over medium high. I have my temperature on this set to 275 degrees, which is pretty low. If I need to up the temperature, I can. I have 1/2 pound of ground turkey already browned. You can use Hamburger, whatever. You can use anywhere from 1/2 pound to 1 pound. And it's already browned, so this will go much faster. You could dice up 1/2 of an onion and about 1 teaspoon of minced garlic and add that to your hamburger when you're browning it. I am going to add my coleslaw mix. I'm going to mix this a little bit. I'm going to cook this about 5 minutes or so until the cabbage is wilted slightly. If you do not add garlic to your meat, you could always just add some garlic powder, up to 1 teaspoon. 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger. If you want a little heat, you can add up to 1/2 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Mix that together. 3 tablespoons of either soy sauce, or if you're going gluten-free, you could use tamari sauce, or even cocoa aminos if you're gluten-free or have a soy allergy. 2 tablespoons. And if you get to the end of your bottle and you just need a little bit, just add a little splash of water to your bottle. And if it's a little bit more, it's fine. I'm just going to pour that in. I'm just going to continue to cook and stir for about 3 more minutes now. It's been 3 minutes. I'm going to shut the heat off. And this is ready. You can serve it as is or drizzle some of the sriracha mayo on top. Either way, it's delicious. And this took me 30 minutes, and that was also with a few interruptions and forgetting a few items. So having to pause for that. So if you're not filming this at your house and you're just making this to eat, it will not take you a half hour. And it'll be even faster if you have the prepackaged coleslaw mix. There's my egg roll bowl, and then I have the sriracha mayo. on top. So good. And that's dinner tonight, egg roll in a bowl. I'm going to make Southwestern chicken. But first I need some Southwest seasoning. And in case you do not have Southwest seasoning, I will show you how you can make it. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. Mix that together. You can store this in an airtight container or even a Ziploc bag. I just grabbed some rotisserie chicken from my freezer. This is about 3/4 of a pound. Still frozen, that's fine. This is just a quick, easy meal. 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese. 1 4-ounce can of diced green chilies. Do not drain them, just open it up and dump it in. You could dice up a jalapeno if you'd like, or even just some green peppers. 1 tablespoon of Southwest seasoning, either store-bought or the homemade. 1 cup of chicken broth. I am going to add 1 cup of water and 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. I am just making this in my electric kettle. You could make this on the stovetop in a saucepan. I'm going to turn this on low and let it get warm. All right, this is boiling now. Basically, this chicken is, it's already cooked because it's rotisserie chicken that I had purchased. I'm just kind of thawing it out a little bit, and then I can shred it up and put it back in. If I were to just put shredded chicken in, I think it might be a little too much liquid, so that's okay, this will work. And it's coming together really fast. I'm going to let it set for a couple more minutes and then I'll check it again. I'm going to shred this up. I'm going to finish shredding this up and I'll be right back. All right, I am going to bring this to a simmer and let it continue simmering for about 5 minutes, and then it's ready to serve. All right, it has been 3 minutes and this looks really good. You can serve this over rice, baked potato, in a tortilla, flour or corn tortilla, whatever you'd like. I am just going to be serving this with some corn chips actually. I'm just going to use it as kind of like a dip. I'm gonna have a side salad and some fruit with it. This only took 25 minutes to make. And that's dinner tonight, Southwestern chicken. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Do you have any tips for others on making dinner prep easier? Let us all know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.